Today we're going to be making this cute little manta ray ring. So many styles, so many options, but with that jasper bead just makes it super cute. You can do it in color or just in copper. This ring takes approximately an hour to an hour and a half, depending if you run into problems, but maybe about an hour to make. So let's make it. Alright, to make this ring we're going to start with 3 wires, the 20 gauge, cut it 5 inches, 3 of those, and then 1 cut it 10 inches, and we're going to take our flat nose pliers and we're going to bend this 10-inch wire right in the middle with the needle nose. And what we're trying to do is we want to go around the 3 wires, so we want like a little bend up here, but this seems a little wide for 3 inches. For 3 wires, I mean. So we want these 3 wires to go in the middle. Like that. Like, you know, it'll probably get a little smaller as we work on it, so I'm not too worried about that, but that's what we want, something like that. And then we're going to take our 24 gauge half round wire. I put mine on a bobbin because it works great. And I don't have to measure it, I just use what I need. But I'd imagine we're going to do just a little under an inch here. So at least a few feet I'd imagine, I'm not positive on that. But if you cut a piece that long, so to start this, I'm just going to leave it overlap just a little bit in case it slides down, and then we can use the rest to cover the difference. And make it nice and snug. So this way we could wrap up. We want a little of this exposed, but not a whole lot. So in the end it'll be something like that. And these will be folded back. So let's just put like 2 wraps on this. Keep it snug. Don't overlap them like that. Nice and snug. And then push them down with your flat nose. And then take your flat nose plier. You push these down a little so you don't end up wasting a whole lot. Because we're just going to bend these. Going to bend them up. Try not to grab your other wire. So that's going to slide up, but we can slide it back down, so don't worry about that. We want to bend these down flat, just squishing around. Getting closer. I'm going to trim that off right there. Trim these 3. About like that, so they overlap those 2 wires that you laid down. And then just try to get them flat on there. Oh boy. It's always squirrely, isn't it? It'll be easier to do one at a time, or closer. I'm just going to finish it up off screen so it don't take forever. Alright, so that's what you want it to look like. Nice and tight. And I notice if you start down here at the ends of these little bits and then you work your way up to the round part, it's a lot easier because I'll just keep going sideways. But start down here and pinch these little loose ones and then keep going up till you get nice and snug. And then we can even slide this down a little bit later. We'll get a couple wraps on here. So then we're going to go over the tops. Push it down there nice and so you get a couple lines over these. So that way they don't catch and snag on your finger. And nice and tucked under there. And make sure your wire doesn't twist on you. It's always a pain in the butt. Okay. And then push this down. So you got a nice little open spot there. And then you want to tie this one off. Just going to go through this loop a couple times. So we'll push those down again. Hopefully they still move after I strap the I'm just pulling on these 3 wires, pull them down, keep it nice and clean, like that. And then once you got a couple of these on here, I'll put 3 in the loop. Slide it down. And then you can just cut that off. Give it a little pinch. Alright, so we're going to continue to wrap down this blade and you're going to go just under 1 inch. So from the very top of the little buckle here to like 1/8 shy of 1 inch, right, you're out here. And we'll come back when we meet there. Alright, we're down to just under 1 inch, about 1/8 under from the top of the little buckle. And this is you still can push this down just a little bit, but you want to be able to get a wire in there that's going to look just like this. So you're going to have that, you only need that much room. So even this is a little big, but it tends to shrink over the process of wrapping it. Okay, but now we're going to move the outside wires out. Like that. And these ones slightly, I'll try to keep these ones close to the bead. So now we need beads, which I don't have out, so I'll be right back. Okay, I got my beads out. For the total ring, depending unless you're going to add a lot of little embellishments like I did on this one. I did this one in blue. We're going to do this design, so we're going to do 3 of the little ones, and I believe that they're 3mm, but I'll put it on the front of the video if I'm wrong. And I believe this one's a 4 and another 4 down here. But we're going to put these little 2 on the outside, but I figured we better cut the tail on this one first. And then you're going to finish it in the back. In the back is, actually I think I'm already backwards. The back is where the little wires fold down. So that's where you're going to want to trim your finishing wire, but cut it a little long because we're going to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it around this bar like 3 times. So I finished it like that, and then that's the front. Slide it down all the way. And then you're going to take the needle nose pliers, and these are going to come around all the way. Catch it before. Go as tight as you can get it. You know, if you want a little manta ray, you want to go as small as you can. And then when you're parallel, you can just grab this one. Oops. I don't want that. And then just get this little, like that. It's going to be his little antenna. Then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Right about here would be the best time to put the little beads on. Put them in my little ring here. And then one on this one. I had it. Oh, I should pause it. The struggle is real. Okay, I got it. And I got the ring too. Alright, and then these little jobbers are just going to go on. Look, they landed right where I wanted them to for now. Right, and then let's just finish bringing this one around tight. So I'll miss it. Oh, and now we get to pick out the bead. Keep these guys right down there. Wish this was a little rounder. That's okay. Oh yeah, we gotta put in the center wire. I'm gonna do another little bead in the center wire. Ta-da! Lift these two up. Don't pull them out. Like that. Lift them up right now and slide a little bead. And then you gotta pick out beautiful jasper beads. These things are so pretty. They all got these cool patterns. Oops, I gotta stop bumping that. I think I'm gonna go with this bluish one. Kind of looks like the ocean. It's got cool colors in it, which you cannot see with this camera. Right. So we're gonna go with that one. This one's gonna be on the center. And just slide that down. And these two are going to slide down over the top. You just want to keep them as close to the bead as possible, so this is probably the best way. Like that. Let's give it a little pinch. And let's go back to, and then still you want to pay attention that you're working on the top. I was trying to pay attention to that, what these ones I made, and they all ended upside down, but it doesn't really matter with the buckle. You know, it's nice when it's tucked on the inside, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way. So these little guys, you want to push the bead down, and then where the little antenna comes in, you want it between the bead and the little bend there. So you want to keep it up here as high as possible. Needle nose is good for that. Just kind of flip it up out of the way. Probably do it with your fingernail too. Just try to get it to match the other side. Get it in there. Alright. Now you're going to pick your weaving wire color. I'm going to go with just copper on this one. But it's kind of fun because you could do different colors. This one's blue. A cute little tail on it. And this one's just the copper color. This is the tarnish resistant, so it didn't take when I oxidized it. Made it kind of cute, and then I just polished the tail up. This one I haven't oxidized yet. I thought I would do it today for this video. So we're going to just go with copper color. That's my half round. And then I too used up bobbin for this, and I got quite a bit on there. But if you don't have it, just cut off a couple feet. Should be plenty. And we're going to start here. We're going to come up on the ear a little bit, or the little, because it's not an ear. Gotta come up to here, so we're just going to wrap this probably like 10 times. And see where that goes up there. Get it right on the corner. And keep that bead slide. We're just going to go over this little ear. I'm just going to call it an ear, I guess. Over that little guy, can you see that? And then we're going to go with a crisscross design. So you come up in the middle and then back around once over the main bar. So we want to shape these two to look like little manta ray wings. So you're going to want to just kind of do a little design where it comes out and then goes back in. And the size is up to you, because like this one I went a little bigger, but I think I'm going to go a little smaller like these ones. Something like that. I'm going to design it and I'll come right back. That only took about a minute. So once you get the shape and you want them all to meet back here, underneath the, and there'll be a bead right here for spacing, but you want to get it pretty close to the bead. Nice little shape. And we can remove this little tag just by twisting. Days later, what in the world? I've never seen one hang on like that. Oh my gosh. That is interesting. Maybe it's sliding. Got it. That was a tough one. Alright, so we're going back to weaving the side here. So you can flare these out a little bit so it's easier to catch. Just going to work with these two outer ones. And we're going to do a crisscross design, so you're going to go around this one, and when you're on the inside, you're going to go over the top of the second one. This one is closest to the bead. Under it. We're going to go over it again. Just wrap it once. Push it all the way up. As high as you can get it. And you'll come underneath it. And then over the top on this other side. And go around that once, twice, because we're going to, since this has a stronger bend in it than the one by the bead, we're going to wrap the outer one twice. So you're going to go up underneath, and then over the top of the second one. And then underneath it, and around once. Come up, over the bottom one. Keep smushing it down. You want this weave as tight as possible. Up through the center. Don't pull this wire too far from the bead. And then over the second one. Smush it up in there. Under the outside. I messed that up. Okay, so now we're getting down into the thicker spot. So what you're going to do is since you went around that one, we're only just going to go around the inner one. We're not going to wrap it. It'll make for a tighter weave. So just over and then back. But on the out one, the bottom one here, you're going to wrap it once, twice, and then around the next one. But don't wrap it again, just go around it. Because this outer wire will use more wire, so we'll go around this one twice. One, two, and then under. Or however it works for you. If you went over the top on the bottom, you go under the closest one to the bead. But don't wrap it, just go around it. So we're just trying to keep our wire kind of straight with the little wings. this one twice, go once, two, and then under the second one. Not all the way around, just around it and back out. See how it makes for a nice, tighter, cuter weave. Around this one twice, there's one. Two. And then under this one. Just keep pushing them down with your fingernail. You can hold them there with your thumb. And then still just around that one, don't wrap it. And push this down. Where you want your wire. Then wrapping this bottom one too helps kind of hold it there. And then as you go down, you just keep the spacing so it's straight out from each other. So if you do have to start putting two wraps on this other side, then you start doing that. And then we're just going to go to the base here, and I'll be back. Okay, so I finished this side. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. You're just going to stop right down here at the bottom. Right about there. And just the exact same thing on this side. And we'll meet back here. And one more thing too is when you finish on this side, just wrap this inside wire 3 times just to finish it. Like so. This wire is stronger than, it's crazy strong. Ta-da! That's a trip. So that's strong. Stronger than normal. Alright, we'll meet you back when this side's done. Alright, so we weave both sides. And you can use your little flattener. Flatten the wings down a little bit and then scooch those wires up. And then we're going to put on that little bead. I think it's the next up from the smallest, what is that, like 4 millimeter? I'm not positive. Put that one on the end. In the middle there. And then we're going to grab our half round wire. And I am going to leave a little extra because if it tends to slide down, and then I have this extra tail to wind back up closer to the bead, but it just does slide down, so that's what I've noticed anyways. So I'm going to overlap it by like 4 inches or so. Is that upside down? Oh boy. Feisty little wire. Alright, fold that over the top just to get it started. Put these wires as close as you can together. It's fidgety. That's to be expected. Wrap a couple times. But once you get a couple and it's not like perfect, but once you get these pliers and you smash it down, boy, that's nice and tight and right where it should be. You can try to slide these two up as high as you can, but see how it's hard to get them up there, so I'm going to use this little tail to wrap the rest away. Alright, and then we're going to wrap down this about at least an inch. I forget the exact measurement, but let's go back when we have an inch and then we'll decide what size you want the ring to be. Alright, so I wrapped down about an inch and then I took that extra tail and I wrapped up, kind of came up close there, and then I wrapped around that center bar to tie it off in the back, cut it off back there, and that's how far I got. So the next step, we're going to figure out what size you want. And if you've got one of these ring things, this is the, it's nice. You put the bead in there and you can spin it around. Well, you could also just put it around your finger. But before we do that, we could put the tail on. Okay, to put the tail on, you could just use the 20 gauge wire. Or if you have some scrap square 20 gauge wire is what I'm going to use, because I like to twist it and give it a little detail to the tail. But it's not a necessity or anything. But I did, like I said, I wrapped up there, but I'm going to smash that down a little bit. Give it a little. And then I think it works good is just kind of push them together. Like that. And then for its tail, is you're going to want to get in here and jam it in there. I want it below the bead. And then put like a hook in it. 90 in it at least. I'll just smash that down in there. Something to hook it on there. We'll cut out that excess in a bit, but that'll give us good leverage. And then go right to the side there. On the back. Over the top. And if you want to lay a little more, just squish it down together like that. I really want this under the bead, which I might take a second to fix. Or I might not, I don't know. Okay. So on the back here, you see it's pinned down a little bit. Just gonna see if I can get that in the center. And then I'm going to smash this down, pinch it in there real good. And then if you can, just trim this to about I think I need new pliers, getting dull. We're going to go around the back again. Man, that's some tough wire. Then around the front. Like so. And then if you did go with the square wire, you're just going to, I don't think I need all this. It's just, I have a lot of scrap wire. But you just want to twist your wire. you get the twist in it you want. If you go with just the 20 gauge round, you can get the smaller bead on the tail. I noticed I used this square on the last one. I couldn't get the small bead on it, so. It's taking a while because this scrap piece is way too long, but it'll be pretty. Okay, so when you get the twirl in it you like, I've mangled my half round down here. I'm going to put a little design in it. I think I'm going to go like a little half moon, but stay over the band. And go around your fingernail. And then hold that down. Go around the back. Over the top. Then curl it around again. And this is where you're going to want to trim it. Probably, you know, you just cut it a little long so you can always cut it again. Then take your needle nose, grab the end. That turned out pretty round. But if you get a flat spot, you can always just trim off the flat spot. You're supposed to catch those. That one slipped. Oops, I forgot to put the bead on there. That was going to be fun trying to get the bead on that now that it's got a kink in it. But let's try. So I take that other little 4mm. What are the odds of that? And I think this is too long, so I'm going to go ahead and snip it again. Whoa, whoa, it's right on the end there. And the copper's so shiny you can hardly see it. And then just move the tail around the way you like it. Give it a cute little detail. And then with, you know, because if that sticks off the band, you know, that's just going to be a catch hazard. But I'll show you a little trick. First, take these, smash down your little pattern a little bit. You can use your flat nose as well. Just get it close to the band. And then you can take some 28 gauge and grab that on both sides to pin it down. I'll show you on this blue one I did. See, I tied it off right in there and around each side so I would grab it so the tail would stay to the base. It works pretty good. Alright, so now to determine the length of the ring, depending on where you want it, which finger you want it on. But you know, if you don't have, and since it's just like a buckle design and the pretty part's already on there, you can just bend it around the finger you want. But if you have something round to get a better shape, just start a circle. And then you'll see that you're depending on the size you want. So let's see, if you want, I like it on the pointer finger so you can see the tail, kind of cute. Mine's like a 9. You can just get a good round idea where it's gonna be. You see how far I am from my buckle? And you want to wrap to about almost to the buckle, you know, because you want it to look nice when you come through the wire. So I'm going to put that much more on. It looks like probably 10 or 13 more wraps. I just get it to the size you want. See how this is going to come together. We'll shape it a little better in a second. But wrap to there, and then I'll show you how we get it in the buckle. Okay, once you get the ring to the size that you want, you're getting close, right? You're in this spot. We're going to trim out this excess since it's going to be harder to get it into the little ring hole. So we're going to just cut it. You know, we got enough to work with, but it's not super long. Ooh, get back to that later. Okay, so depending on like if your buckle hole got a little too small in the process, you could cut off these 2 outside wires so you just have the 3 inside to go through that little catch there. And we could cut the tail off of this too, but leave a couple inches just in case you want to wrap the wires you cut back. Let's see how this is going to work. I've done this a few times, but I've done it different every time. Okay, so do I want to try to do all 4 in there? It might fit. It's probably going to be a mess though. So you could go underneath if you don't mind the hook being on the outside, or if you want to copy this way where it's on the inside, you have to go down through it. So just to start, I'm just bending these down to see if they would all fit in there. I just don't know. Looks pretty close. This would be a first. It would be kind of a cool look if they were all going in there. But cutting the outside ones isn't going to make much of a diff, really. That's it. It went all through there. Unreal. Okay, see how I got them in there like that? That's 1 in a million. Okay, so remembering your distances on your ring size, I'm just going to try to flatten these out. See how they're way too long in there, of course. So we're going to cut those again. I don't know if you want to try to get a better bend on them first so you kind of know where you're at. Yeah, I think we gotta cut them, but we can see how it's getting a little better there. It's just a cute little buckle design. Just cut them enough so good scissors, good clippers. Okay, so now you see how we got just a little bit in there. Oh man, that's short. What did you do? Okay, so this is just going to be another just finagling it down to get as flat as you can against that wire you just went around. Just take your time, get it to lay down. It's coming together. You just keep them in the line. And just slowly keep smashing it down as flat as you can get it. Good stuff right there. And you can feel with your finger, you can't feel any of that. That's nice and flat. So then when you're half round wire, just kind of pick a bar. And see now if this was back a little bit and you try to patch up a hole, then you got this extra stuff. But if not, I'm just going to grab one of these side wires right here and tie off. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'll be right back. Alright, I tied off on the little bar right there. And then you're just going to clip this wire off. You can't feel it. And it's like that. And then you're going to want to just really smash that down. Just get away in your pliers. What's cute too about this idea of the buckle design is you could pre-make these, and then when someone wanted one, you could just cut it to the size they request. Kind of cute. And then by just doing an inch here where the buckle is, it lays on the inside real nice, so you don't even see it because it's right there on the inside of your finger practically. I think I'm going to oxidize this now and show you what that looks like. Alright, so I oxidized it, and it was kind of a cool mistake, but I guess that weaving wire I used wasn't tarnish resistant because the oxidization soaked right into it. But as you can see, this one up here in the corner is tarnish resistant, and then these two weren't. So it buffed out to be a beautiful bronze color, not bronze, but like almost like a rose gold silver type color. Really pretty with it. But the blue, that is tarnish resistance. That would last. I didn't oxidize this one just in case. But here they are. They're finished. They're super cute, easy to make. If you make this, tag me. I would love to see your creations and all the combinations of colors and ideas. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe for more. Till next time.